These are the Claude Code tricks that took me from a complete beginner to a power user. 3 tiers: beginner, intermediate, and then power user. Let's get straight into this. The first one is speaking to Claude with natural language via voice. So normally you would type it in, but now you can actually speak to Claude directly via this button here. You just have to set up your microphone, or you can use an app like I do called Whisper. I've talked about on this channel before. All I do is click a button on my keyboard and then I can talk to Claude with natural language. Hello Claude, let's build a workflow. There you go. You can see that I've just spoken and it has popped up in my Claude Code chat window. Number 2 is the /init command. This is going to take all of your code base and write an MD file, which is basically a memory file that gives instructions to Claude whenever you actually speak to it. So let's do this now. Claude's going to go ahead, take this whole code base and this project folder and create a CLAUDE.md file for me. Now for brand new projects, this is essential. Just tell Claude what you want to do, what the goal of your project is, and it's going to go ahead and write this MD file for you. Now, because I already have a CLAUDE.md file in this folder, it's given me suggestions on how to improve it. So you can run this command in existing projects or brand new projects, but just remember to run it and see what you get. Number 3 is the status line command. Now this is going to basically give you a mini dashboard at the bottom of your terminal. This will show you your current model, your context percentage used, and the session running cost. So there we have it. Our status line has popped up. We are using Opus 4.6. We can see our context and we can see the cost for the current session that we are in right now. So pretty handy to have there, just to keep an eye on how much you're spending and how Claude is working, and then also your context percentage. Number 4, this is asking Claude to update our CLAUDE.md file every time we close out a session, and we're getting it to rewrite it, update it with what we've done, the tasks that we've completed, and then the tasks that we need to do. So every time you log into Claude, it will know where you're up to, so you can get started from where you left off. Now this is really easy to do. I'm just going to copy and paste this prompt in here. Now all the prompts that I use in this video I'll leave in the description for you as well. So we're saying update the CLAUDE.md file with anything that we've learned in this session, keep it under 200 lines total. If a section is getting heavy, named a few sections, move it into a separate file. So basically how we want the CLAUDE.md file to look is just links to other documents and other memory files, so that the CLAUDE.md file doesn't get massive, because every time we load up Claude code, Claude's going to read through that MD file. So I like to keep it under 200 lines total. Number 5 is treat Claude like a junior developer. So instead of saying write a function that does X, you want to say how should we handle X. This lets Claude reason through the approach, better quality, because the model thinks before it codes. Now this is perfect to go into number 6, which is use plan mode. So to change into plan mode, all we need to do is click down here in the bottom right and then click on plan mode here. Now Claude is only going to plan, it's not going to actually execute. So for instance, if you wanted to build an app or a website, you don't want to just tell Claude to go out there and build your website without having a plan put together. This is going to waste tokens and cost you money. So plan mode is essential, and it's been proven that plan mode actually saves you tokens in the long run. Number 7 is keep your context window small. So don't dump your whole code base into Claude. Only give it what it needs to perform a certain task. So here in this prompt, you can see that I've said only read a certain file or folder for now. Don't load anything else. Tell me what this file does in 3 sentences and flag parts that look brittle. This way, when I say go and do this, Claude's not going to load every single memory file in the folder, which is going to burn through tokens and context. Essentially what we're doing here is giving Claude small steps. So less noise, better output is the perfect example of this. Okay, so number 8, the /context command. This is going to show you exactly what's eating up your context window. So let's go ahead and run it in this project. And then you can see here everything that is using up my context. So you can see here in this current session, I've got tons of free space. Auto compact buffer is using the most. System prompt, system tools, memory files, skills, and messages. So this is really, really useful. Number 9, this is the /compact command. So for instance, when you're going through your context window fast and the bar is, I want to say 60% full, you can type in /compact, and what this is going to do is it's just going to compact the conversation that you're having with Claude. But you can actually ask Claude to save certain sections of your previous conversation. So let's show you an example now. So here you can see we're going to type /compact, but we're going to ask it to keep all of the API integration decisions and the database schema we agreed on earlier. Now this is super useful, again, for not eating up your context. Number 10 is stop early and reprompt. So what you can actually do, if you've given Claude a big prompt, you've told it to do a certain task, and you feel like it's going down the wrong way, you can just hit escape, and that will instantly stop what Claude is doing. Then you can just stop and just restart, essentially, because you don't want Claude going down a wrong path. That's going to eat up your tokens and your context. So just keep in mind that if you feel like Claude's going the wrong way, you don't have to wait for it to finish the task. You can just hit escape or type in stop, that's not what I meant, and then it will stop for you in its tracks. Number 11, challenge Claude aggressively. I always do this. It is, in my opinion, essential to get the best result. So if you get a message back from Claude, you don't really like what it's doing, or you think there is a better way, you can say something to it like, this logic works, but the variable names are vague, and the function is doing 3 things. Rewrite it with clearer names, give it examples of names, and split it into 2 functions with single responsibility. So you can see in that prompt there, I've told Claude there's a better way to do this certain task. Again, I always do this. It does make a huge difference. The next is to build self check-ins into, for example, a to-do list. So when you have Claude build you a website, you should ask Claude to stop, take screenshots, reanalyze, and make sure that it's doing everything correctly. So using the website example again, you say to Claude, I want to build a hero section for my website. I want it to look like this. Once you've done, take a screenshot, analyze it, and don't move on until you're sure that it's 95% correct. So here's an example prompt: build the contract form. After each to do, take a screenshot, run a check, and don't move on until you're 95% confident the previous step is working. If something is broken, fix it before moving on. Don't continue past a broken state. So just give Claude more direct instructions. Tell it to stop, think, screenshot, because Claude can screenshot, Claude can see, and it can analyze those images and make edits. Number 13 is Claude can see. So carried on from number 12. This is a little bit different though. We're actually going to feed Claude screenshots. Now, we've done this on my channel before in my website building videos. We've gone out, we've found an example website that we want to replicate. We've screenshotted it, we've sent those screenshots to Claude, and we've told Claude to replicate it. So take advantage of this. 14 is the /resume command. Now, this is really useful if you've taken a wrong turn in a session and you want to rewind Claude to a certain point. This is really cheap, fast, and it's clean, easy to do. Okay, so now we're moving on to the final section of this video, more advanced tips and tricks. This one is one of my favorite, and it's /hooks. This is gonna enable a notification. So whenever Claude finishes a certain task, you'll get a ping either on your phone or your computer to tell you that the task's done. So you can have 5 different Claude sessions open, all doing different things, and then you'll be able to be notified when each one has been completed. So all you need to do for this is do /hooks and then click on continue in terminal. And then you can see here that we can set up notifications. So when certain tasks and executions have been made, you'll get notified. Really, really cool to do. I love using this and I find it really handy, but you can see we can set up hooks for pre-tool execution, after tool execution, after tool execution fails, after auto mode classifier denies a certain call, and when notifications are sent. So number 16 is pretty similar to one that I previously shared a second ago, but for instance, when we want to build a certain thing and we want to replicate a certain site or app, then take screenshots, give them to Claude. Remember, Claude can see. This is really, really important for when you're wanting to actually build out complex apps and sites and interfaces. Give Claude as much information as possible. Screenshots is a massive one. Number 17 is use remote control mode. So this is really easy to do. You just want to open Claude in your terminal, type in /remote control, hit enter, and then scan that QR code on your phone, and it will load up the Claude Code session there. Number 18 is using auto mode or bypass permissions. So if you're using Claude a lot, you're probably getting tons of approval messages in here, and they can be pretty annoying. So I always like to use auto mode. This will allow Claude to automatically choose the best permission mode for each task. So you're not always getting those windows pop up saying allow this, allow this, allow this. Number 19, one that I use for complicated tasks, is the Ultrathink command. So if you're wanting to do a task that is quite complex, I always use Ultrathink. Ultrathink allocates 32,000 tokens for this task. That's the limit. So just make sure that you're only using this for bigger tasks. Really easy to do. Just type Ultrathink anywhere into your prompt. And number 20 is to use agent teams. So you can spin up an agent team for specific builds. And I've actually dropped a video on this channel about agent teams, how to set them up, how to use them correctly before. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. But essentially we can have an agent team split up and do different tasks. So for example, again, if you're creating a website, you want one agent team for interface design, UI design, one agent team for backend coding, one agent team for authorization and Superbase setup, etc., etc. This is going to allow the outcome to be way more sophisticated and cleaned up and just look way better. You will use a lot of tokens when doing this, so make sure that you set it up correctly and you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. Make sure you go into plan mode before, plan out the task, get a correct plan set up before you actually go out and spin up an agent team. But again, this is really easy to do. Just tell Claude, spin up an agent team for this build. One agent on the API, one on the database schema, and one on the front end. Let them coordinate, share progress, and assign each other work as needed. I want one cohesive output, not 3 disconnected pieces. So just like that, you have 20 tips and tricks, beginner to more advanced, to help you get better at using Claude Code. Again, I'll leave all the prompts and a few more bits in the description, as well as my free school community, which you can join First link in the description. Tons of cool stuff going on in there. Tons of cool stuff planned. Thank you very much for viewing this video. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you all soon.